Hello students, I am Dr. Krupa Rasne, Professor and Head, Jain College of Engineering, Belgavi. Today we'll be looking into the third video of Module 4 of the subject of Power Electronics for the 7th semester BE ENC VTU. The Module 4 syllabus is basically dealing with the DC to DC converter, that is a chopper, and the textbook that we are referring is Mohammad H. Rashid, Power Electronic Circuit Devices and Applications. Coming to the content, we have already seen the introduction of DC to DC converter and also seen with an example problem the principle of step-down operation and its analysis with R load. We have also looked into the principle of step-down operation with its analysis with RL load to a certain extent. And in this video, we'll be looking into the same, that is a principle of step-down operation and its analysis with RL load a little further on. And we'll end the video with an example problem. The other topics such as step up and classification of choppers will be doing in the forthcoming videos. So as we have seen, this is the principle of step down chopper, and we have got the RL load, RLE load, which is normally a load used to represent a motor with a freewheeling diode connected across this load, right? And we have got the chopper in series with the input supply voltage. This is a step down chopper, right? And we are controlling the output voltage being connected to the input supply with an on time and off time. During the on time, we have seen that there are two modes. During the on time, that is when the chopper is on, the freewheeling diode is not into picture and the input supply is connected to the load directly for the on period, and which we call it as the mode 1. And in mode 2, we have the chopper which is off and the freewheeling diode comes into picture, and the voltage or charges that are stored in L will be discharged through the load again through the freewheeling diode. So if you look at the waveforms, we will see that during the on time, the load current that is flowing will be rising from I minimum to I maximum, and during the off time, the current will be freewheeling through this FWD, in which case the current will be going from I max during the on time to I minimum during the off time. Again, the chopper will turn on and the process continues. So we have seen two types of currents, that is output current which could be continuous, in which case I minimum is not zero, and in the other case is the discontinuous current, in which case the lower end of the current will reach a zero value till the next turn on happens, and hence the current appears to look to be discontinuous. That is, there will be a period during which the load will not be getting any current at all. Okay. Now we have looked into the formulas in the earlier videos. That is, we have derived an equation for Imax, and which is equal to input voltage by R into 1 minus e to the power of D stands for the duty cycle, dRt by L upon 1 minus e to the power of RT by L. Okay, T is the period of the switching frequency of the chopper. Okay, that is equal to T on plus T off minus E by R. So this was the equation that we derived for I max. Similarly, we have an equation derived for I minimum in our previous video. You can refer to that. Then the peak to peak ripple current is nothing but the difference between the I max and I minimum. So this minus this will give you delta I, which is called as the peak to peak ripple current. Next is the average output voltage VDC, which is equal to duty cycle into the input voltage. Otherwise we refer to it as K into Vs. So it is duty cycle which is equal to T on upon T on plus T off into the supply voltage V. So that is how we get the average output voltage, and the average output current is basically approximated as the average of the maximum value of current and the minimum value of current, that is I max plus I minimum upon 2. Next, let us look at the instantaneous load current. Assuming load current varies linearly from I minimum to I max instantaneous, the load current can be given as I naught will be equal to the initial value I minimum plus the change in the current delta I into the time required for the change divided by D into T. Okay. So for on time, okay, dt is nothing but T on. D is the delay time and T is the total time. So on T on can be, instead of writing T on, we can write it as dt. So this is the expression that I get for an instantaneous I naught current. So we have seen different types of currents, right? DC current, RMS current, and this is the instantaneous or AC current that is flowing through the load. So I can write this as I minimum plus delta I can be written as I max minus I minimum upon on time dt into T. Now to find the RMS value of the load current. The RMS value of the load current is basically got by taking the root and the square term of the I naught that we have just derived. So I naught squared integrated between 0 to T on 1 upon dt, that is T on time, because the RMS value of the load current is basically we are taking the current that is flowing from 0 to T on. Okay. And once then I replace I naught squared as I minimum plus I max minus I minimum upon dt into T under the whole squared, okay, under the root sign. Now you'll have to take a paper and pen and try to solve it out here. So integration of I minimum, okay, this dt is there, okay, and so I'll write it as we have the square term here, so this becomes like a plus b the whole squared. So this will be become as a squared plus b squared plus 2 into ab. So the expression has been expanded and now it will go easier to take the integration. Okay, so this will remain I minimum as it is. We'll see in the next slide. So when we integrate it, we are going to have this expression which I got it from the previous slide. So I naught RMS can be written as I minimum squared, okay, integration of I minimum squared into dt, right? So this dt and this dt cancels out plus I max minus I minimum upon dt. Now there is a t squared term. So this integration should be t cube by 3. Okay, so t cube, when I replace it from 0 to dt, so dt squared terms, right? That and this also into dt cube term, right? And this term, this is dt squared term multiplied by dt. So this dt cube cancels and what remains is 3 in the denominator plus here it is t, so it becomes t squared, so dt squared, so this dt and this dt, another dt squared in the denominator, so these two cancels out and t squared by 2, so 2 and 2 cancels, so what remains is this. Try to work out students, and you should be getting the simplified version of the integration. Next, RMS chopper current. Now RMS chopper current, if you see, is equal to ICH equal to, here we have taken the output current and now we are looking at the chopper current. So for the chopper current, the duration would be 1 upon T because there is only one pulse in the time period. Okay, here we had two pulses and hence here 0 to dt, same thing we do, continue with the same, substitute I naught square as the same expression, except now you have taken 1 by t outside the bracket. Otherwise, this is the chopper RMS current. So solving, you will get that root of d, that is the duty cycle, into I naught RMS. So chopper current is equal to the root of duty cycle into the output RMS value. Okay, and the effective input resistance Ri is equal to V by Is. This is we know what it is. Hence the average source current, we call it as Is, where Is is equal to duty cycle into IDC. Because source current is same as the load current. So when I am taking Is, which is the average source current, it will be K times or the duty cycle times the IDC. And the source resistance or Ri is equal to Vs by Is. So it will be input is V divided by Is is dIdC. So now let us look at a problem here. The converter in the figure. So the figure shows the same converter, that is the step down chopper with RLE load, has a load resistance R equal to 0.25 ohms, input voltage Vs is equal to 550 volts, and battery voltage E equal to 0. So here we are simply dealing with RL and E is equal to 0. Okay, so it's just an RL load. The average load current, so they have given the average load current value as 200 amperes and the chopping frequency F is 250 Hertz, and use the average output voltage to calculate the load inductance. So you are supposed to calculate the load inductance using the average output voltage formula, which would limit the maximum load ripple current to 10% of the I, that is average load current. So this is one condition they have put, that is the maximum load ripple current is 10% of the average load current. Fine. So let us look at the solution. And we have got the input Vs is 550 volts, R as 0.25, E has been given as 0, F has been given as 250 Hertz. So we can get the time T, which is equal to 1 by F equal to 0.004 seconds. And the ripple current delta I, they have told maximum load ripple current is 10% of this average load current. So 10% means it comes to 0.1, which is equal to 20 amperes, right? So 200 into 0.1. So the average output voltage, now if I have to calculate the average output voltage, because we get duty cycle, here K is the duty cycle, okay? I have taken it from the Rashid book and he uses the notation of K to represent the duty cycle. The other material is also from Rashid, but there I have used small d as the duty cycle, don't confuse. So the average output voltage VA is K into Vs, which is equal to R into IA. The load voltage across the inductor is given by. So if you look at this waveform, this diagram, the KVL law, L into di by dt is equal to Vs minus R into RA, R into IA, right? Which is equal to Vs minus R into IA is nothing but K into Vs, which is equal to Vs into 1 minus K. So the voltage across the inductor will be equal to Vs minus 1 minus the duty cycle. If the load current is assumed to rise linearly, okay, which we have shown earlier also. So dt is equal to T1. T1 is nothing but T on in our case. So T on, which is equal to duty cycle into the total time. We know that. So it is equal to di is equal to delta I. We know that change of current is equal to the ripple current, that is delta I. So delta I can be represented as, okay. So delta I can be represented as Vs into, that is L into di by dt, right. So di I have represented as delta I, which is equal to Vs into 1 minus K. This L has come down, fine, into T1. T1 is your KT. This dt comes on top, so T1 becomes KT. So it is basically playing with this function. L into di by dt is equal to Vs into 1 minus K. L, so I am getting di. Di is nothing but delta I, which is equal to Vs into 1 minus K into this dt. dt means T. dt means T on, that is K into T divided by this L, which is brought down. And there is a condition for the worst case ripple current, the differentiation of delta I has to be 0. So, and with this I get the value of duty cycle as 0.5. Now considering this as 0.5, I will be substituting So I'll be getting delta I into L is equal to Vs is 20 into, okay, delta I have taken here, sorry, which is 20 amperes into L is the inductance we are supposed to find, which is equal to 550, that is 550 minus 1 minus 0.5, and this becomes equal to zero point 0.5 into 0.0004, right? That is K is zero point 0.5 and T is nothing but frequency is given. We have got it as 0.004. Okay, so delta I into L is equal to, I've just substituted the values. So note that in this particular equation, only L is unknown, and this is what they have asked you to use the average output voltage to calculate the load inductance. So that is what we are doing. We are evaluating the load inductance L using the average output voltage. So when I substitute, I'll be getting the required value of inductance L as 27.5 millihenries. The condition for the maximum ripple, this is for our information, d delta I by dk is equal to rate of change of current, ripple current upon duty rate of change of dk, means k stands for duty cycle. This is equal to 0, and that happens when k is equal to 0.5. The maximum peak to peak ripple happens at k equal to 0.5. This is just an information for you. So, key points of section. An inductive load can make the load current continuous. So, we know that there are two types of currents, continuous and discontinuous load current. That depends upon the value of the inductor. But what he says is, however, the critical value of inductance which is required for continuous current is also influenced by the load EMF ratio. Okay, so the peak to peak load current becomes happens when K is equal to 0.5. Now let us look at an example finding the currents of the DC converter with the RL load. A converter is feeding an RL load as shown in the figure, that is the same step down chopper with the RLE load with Vs as 220 volts, Rs 5 ohms, Ls 7.5 millihenry and frequency as 1 kilohertz. The duty cycle K is 0.5 and E as capital E as 0 volts. Calculate A, the minimum instantaneous load current, I1, that is I minimum, the peak instantaneous load current, I2, that is I max, the maximum peak to peak load ripple current, and the average value of the load current, the RMS load current, the effective input resistance Ri seen by the source, and the RMS chopper current IR, and the critical value of the load inductance for continuous load current. So let us look at what are the given parameters and what we are supposed to evaluate. So Vs has been given as 220 volts, R has been given as 5 ohms, L has given as 7.5 millihenries, E is 0 volts and duty cycle K is 0.5 and frequency as 1 kilohertz, means 1000 hertz. Now in the A you are supposed to find the minimum instantaneous load current I1 or I minimum. So I minimum and I maximum, we have these two formulas, or I have already evaluated by substituting I minimum here. We have evaluated the maximum of I max. You can either use that formula or you can use these two formulas and get the expression for I max in terms. Okay, so I max we have used here V minus E by R. V is given as 220, E is 0, R is 5, right? So that into okay, so we have got 1 minus e to the power of d, duty cycle is d, that is 0.5, r is given as 5, t has been evaluated 1000, f is known, so t can be found as 1 by f, l value is given to you, right? So you find substitute these values and you'll be getting I max in terms of I minimum. So we are getting I max as 0.7165 I minimum plus 12.473 and I minimum in terms of I max. So use this formula and you should be getting 0.7165 I max plus 0. So solving them, you will get I minimum as 18.37 and I max as 25.63, which is part A and part B of the question. Okay, and further on, let us assume I max as I2 and I minimum as I1. So ripple current delta I is I2 minus I1, which is the subtraction of these two, and you get 7.26. And the average load current, we know we take the average of these two currents. So I get this value as 22 amperes. Okay. Next, assuming that the load current rises linearly I1 to I2, we have already done the derivation of this earlier slides. So we can directly use this formula, that is the RMS load current can be found using I0 RMS. So I have substituted I minimum as I1, I2 as I max. Same formula out here, substitute it and you should be getting I0 as 22.1. Dear students, please try and do it on your own. Use your calculators and see that you get the correct answer. The average source current is nothing but the duty cycle multiplied by the RMS load current, right? So you get the value as 11 amperes, and Ri is the effective input resistance, which is Vs by Is. Vs is 220, Is is 11, so you get 20 ohms. Next, the converter current, that is the chopper current, can be found using the formula. We have derived the formula. We have derived it in this term, root of D. So that is same as root of K. I1 squared plus I max minus I minimum by 3 plus I minimum into I max minus I minimum. And this is same as equal to root 2k into I naught. We have already done the substitution and we have found I naught as 22.1 previous slide. So I just take the root of it and root of duty cycle, that is 0.5, and I get the answer for ICH. Okay. So in this particular video, we have been looking into the principles of step down chopper and done a little analysis with the RL load, right? So we have done two example problems in this particular video. Please go through it. And in the next forthcoming video, we'll be looking into the step up operation with resistive load, and we'll also look into other performance parameters and also the converter classifications. Okay, so interesting topic ahead. So thank you, and if you have any questions, please do get back to me. Thank you.